I want to talk about President-elect Trump. He's really, in my opinion, he's taking charge. He's asking defense contractors to cut costs on new military projects. Here's what he's just tweeted. This was yesterday, actually. Based on the tremendous cost and cost overruns of the Lockheed Martin F-35, I've asked Boeing to price out a comparable F-18 Super Hornet. In other words, he's telling Boeing, get out there and compete with Lockheed Martin. Zane Tankel joins us now. He's the CEO of Apple Metro. He runs Applebee's restaurants all across the Northeast. Zane, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, sir.
What would you say if Mr. Trump came to you and said, hey, you at Applebee's, cut your prices and you better compete better with Ruby Tuesdays or whomsoever?
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Well, I think if I looked at that in the light of what Mr. Obama has been telling me what to do over the last 8 years, it might be refreshing, very frankly. And I might also look at what are the long-term effects and impact on it. Is it going to hurt us? What the president present president has done is really dissect industry and
yes, he
service.
Has. And you don't sound to me like you're real happy about it because you're worried about where it leads in the future.
Exactly. You know, what we do today, words matter. And what we do today has ramifications next year.
Zane Tankel stepping back from Donald Trump? I thought you loved what he's been doing.
I certainly am approving of what he's been doing, most of what he's been doing. But I think it's unfolding. I think it's an unfolding situation. I think some of the promises that are, which I said before he was elected, are concerning to me. Can we put coal workers back to coal? Can we put auto workers back into the auto business? I can tell you, in the oil business, we drill wells today in 2 to 3 days, what used to take 20 to 30 days.
You're an investor in the oil business.
I'm a director of an oil field services.
Director of an oil field services. Now, what Mr. Trump is doing for you is a whole lot of good, isn't it?
Well, it'll all depend on what the need is. I mean, oil is a functionable kind of commodity, and you have to have a need for it. I can tell you, Stuart, that in order to preserve leases, oil leases on the lands that the big oil companies have taken, they got to start drilling. So there's something like 5,300 wells that have been started, but not that are waiting for completion. The rigs were laid down and taken away.
Well, so what you're saying is he is going to give us cheap domestic energy, and that's good for the whole country.
It certainly is.
But it's not necessarily great for the oil services industry because prices of oil are going to be depressed.
Well, prices of oil are depressed as long as demand is depressed. And the long-term effect is if he gets industry going and the tax cuts work and all these things happen, well, demand should rise, and obviously the law of supply and demand, as demand rises, prices will rise. But then we are such an international community. The Iranians are coming on stream with their oil, and the Qataris, and then there's LNG, liquid natural gas, and the Qataris and the Iranians coming online with LNG, with competing with us. They become allies all the time, as we are the common enemy.
But we are going to get cheap energy.
We will get. We've had cheap energy,
and we're going to get it just as cheap for the foreseeable future.
For the foreseeable future.
So, for you wear two hats. You're an oil guy, and it might not be just great for you if oil prices stay at this level.
No.
However, you're also a restaurant guy with Applebee's.
Right.
You must love Mr. Trump because he's going to get rid of Obamacare.
Because we cook all our French fries in oil.
Yes, I know. But he's going to get rid of Obamacare at some point.
Yeah.
And you love that.
I love that. I love that. I was against it with you early on before the bill was even passed. Not only that, the department.
You were against it before you were for it?
I was against Obamacare, and I never was for it. I think it was a car crash, and I've said it, and I maintained it all this time. But I think the Department of Labor, the NLRB, all the regs, it is so overwhelming. What the president has done to industry. People say, oh, he put people back to work and the economy.
Talking about Obama.
Obama. Well, the president. He's the president.
Yep.
Correct? The other one's president-elect?
That's correct.
I got it right. Yes, thank you.
I'm reading between the lines. You did not approve of President Obama and what he'd done to America's economy.
Not at all.
You do approve of Donald Trump and what he proposes to do, but there's something in the back of your mind that says, I'm not quite sure about Donald Trump, right?
I guess, yes. I guess, yes, but I do love some of the people and the cabinet positions that he's made and the people he's appointed, and he's surrounding himself. But Donald Trump, who I know a little bit, I went to a breakfast with him not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, me and 100 of his best friends.
Right. After he'd become president?
Yes, it's about 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago.
Did he carry himself as the President of the United States?
He was terrific. In fairness, he was terrific. He was candid. There was no press in the room, and he just opened himself up. He wasn't on television. He's a different guy as an entertainer than he is as president.
That's very true.
Let's see if he can marry those two personas, the entertainer with the president.
I got a feeling he's going to do it. I do.
Listen,
I've got that
he
feeling.
may well. I don't write him off by any means.
Oh,
he
you
may
can't.
well.
No, you
He's
can't.
driven. He's a driven person.
He's running the country already, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Can I wish you a happy Hanukkah?
You certainly can.
Is that legit?
Yeah, it certainly is. As someone just said to me on the phone, I was just speaking to a Muslim friend of mine who, to get the oil rig count, and he said, one book. I said, can I wish you happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year? He said, I'm a devotee of one book, the Quran, the Bible, whatever, one book. So
Okay.
I wish you one book.
Okay, Zane, time's up. Thanks very much for joining us. I'll take it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks very much.